That's what I'm saying. He's not the same guy. Look at him. Wait, is he going? Are they all going to the same raid? Maybe that would be so cool. Piano tracks are so good. So I've been doing some thinking, alright, about what could possibly happen in this gate that we're about to go through. And I don't know if this is too obvious or too predictable or it's too early in the show, but what if our squad here, as in Jinwoo, Juhee, Song, and Kim, have all been brought back together just to somehow end up in the same double dungeon that they did at the very start of the show. Now I don't want to tunnel on this too hard, it's just something that popped into my head. Everyone's been brought back together. I've got this bad feeling that something's gonna happen. So I think at the very least, it's worth drawing attention to that maybe that is a possibility. And in my discussion last episode, I revisited my ideas from the earlier episodes, thinking that Jinwoo was going to be the only survivor from the double dungeon. And I was thinking that maybe this was kind of leading towards that somehow, with some of the group being brought back together. I've got bad feelings at least about Song and Kim. So that's just where my head's at with what we could be potentially getting in for in this episode. I have seen the title, You've Been Hiding Your Skills, so that's definitely saying that some people are going to see what Jinwoo's capable of doing. And maybe this could even be the start of other people aside from Jinho actually knowing that Jinwoo is actually getting a lot stronger. But there's no guarantee that anything that I've talked about is going to happen in this episode, so I'm going to keep an open mind. Last episode was really good, not a lot of action, but still a lot of really good talking points, so I reckon we might jump back into something pretty serious in this episode here. And something I'll drop in here as well is that I really like that there are multiple plot points going on in the background. We have this whole ordeal with Choi and Baek about the island, as well as Hwang's brother as well. That's from a few episodes ago now. So it's not just Jinwoo and what's going on with him and what's going on with Dungeon that's immediately in front of us. There are a lot of other things, you know, brewing in the background as well, which is really exciting. Real quick before the episode here, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. It would really help me out and I'd really appreciate it. And if you feel like supporting the channel just a little bit more, no pressure here. I know I'm only a small channel, but there's a link to my Patreon down below. With all that being said, enjoy the video. The jump scared me. Damn, maybe these prisoners are kind of handy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ooh, I like that. They're starting to see what Jinwoo can do. Maybe they will just see it for this. Like it's just a good thing, right? Ooh, I like that. Oh, let's split up. Okay. This never bodes well, right? What's that? He can tell, right? Okay, two in the middle, dead. That's all you need to know. Oh no, no, it's a death flag. I was wrong about Juhee in episode 1 or 2, but this is good for Kim's character though, no? Like, this is great for Kim. And that's huge. Oh, I actually really hope they make it out of this. I'm being very pessimistic, I know, but that's how the show has made me feel. Oh, listen to this. This is good stuff, man, but it's making me nervous. Oh, that's a big talking point after Jinwoo against the other hunters. Is it these men? Oh, that's tragic. Oh, this is that scene from the other episode, right? They all need to die. Yeah, this is that scene that got sprinkled into the other episode. I didn't peg Kang for this kind of character. We'll see what happens. He's gonna take them out. Kang is a bit of a demon, man. Wow, I did not see that coming at all. Oh, they've seen it, man. Is Kang gonna kill them because they've seen this or what? Oh, this is interesting. Man, they are pretty raw with these decapitations in this episode. That Oh, I think he knows exactly who you are, man. Ugh. Okay, what happened to the other guys? Are they okay? Oh no. He's dead. He was a no one, right? I know he was in the group, but it's not looking so good, man. Yeah, nah. Okay, he's okay. Yeah. Hopefully he at least gets to apologize, though. And tell him why. Tell him why. What a crazy shot. And he's gone. Look at Jinwoo. He's watching, man. Let's go. Come on. Damn, I did not see this happening this way at all. I'm pretty confident that Jinwoo is stronger than Kang here. Dude, is he like this? That's a big line, that. Nah, he can, man. He can. Oh, I kind of like where this is going, though. No, I hope Jinwoo steps in, and then Kim and Juhi know about him as well. That's sick. Look at that aura. Man, look at Song. Let's go. I'm a swordsman. That's not real. Yeah. Bro, what even happened there? Hold on. It was like an after image, right? That was crazy. Jinwoo won't let Song die, I'm sure of it. And obviously I don't think he wants to let on how strong he actually is still. Uh-oh, this doesn't bode well. Yep, that's no good. Okay, Juhi, she's clutch like that. Jinwoo. Oh! Damn, that was kind of epic. Oh dear. An assassin hunter. Okay, that'll do it. All the same slashes that Kim had on him. Oh, is she out? You know what time it is. Nah, it's Jinwoo time. Hey, what are we doing here? Wait, Song really is that guy a little bit. It didn't work, but that was pretty cool. Now it's Jinwoo time. Let's go. Let's go. And no lies have been told. I'm down for Song and Juhi to be in on this. You've been hiding your skills. He's figuring it out a little bit. Except he didn't. But that's maybe the story he could potentially use. Oh, he didn't. He actually didn't know. He had no idea. Of course, because he looks so different. So he was here coincidentally. Wow. But now he knows all these details though. He's got 2 daggers. Damn, look at this guy. Oh, this is all so interesting. I got so much wrong last episode. He did it for himself a little bit. Yeah, look at him. Okay. He's an actual freak. Jesus Christ. I'm here for this though. Let's go. He thinks he knows what's going on. Damn, that is clean. Oh, dude. Yeah, let him know. But is he using his ability though? His skill? Oh. I don't know, man. Oh, shit. Maybe he's onto something. Ooh. Oh, it's over now. Even the system's noticed. Murderous intent? You have no idea. The dash. And the poison. They're still pretty even. Whoa. Stealth. Yeah, because you kill everyone. Whoa. I just did not see this coming at all this episode. Damn, look at the poison doing stuff to him. Dude, he's the... Yeah, I thought he might still have one. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh, that's tough though for Hae-in Song to know about that. Yeah, oh dude, Song is so smart though. He's been through some shit. Whoever's strongest. And who is stronger here? Who do you reckon? Come on. Oh, here it is. Oh, this is sick. The colors and the effects. Oh, look at him. I don't know if that's true, for very different reasons. And this guy's just doing it because he enjoys killing people. He is the player. Oh. I love that. Ooh. Dang, that's a big line, man. Hey, that is some stuff right there. So, ooh, we got the stealth? Oh, the hood. Oh, you know what that means. Oh, okay. Is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing? Okay. With the homies. He's gonna go defeat the boss. Oh, it's so interesting, man. Like his humanity. I just love the shots in this show. I'll keep saying it. Right, so what's Woo gonna think of this? I wonder if Kang was his partner. Yeah, that's pretty insane. So they've told the truth, but what's the story they're using? That Song defeated him, maybe? And he'll see Jinwoo again. Yep. Okay, so this is where this comes into it. Song's gonna take the fall, right? Good. She's B rank, no? The healing and the strength buff, maybe that's plausible? But this guy's pretty perceptive. Okay. Okay, so that's where we're at. Okay. So maybe we're high B rank. Dude, Song is just the realest character in the show. Dude, he's just a legend. Keep him close, Jinwoo. Yeah. Yep, this is it. Damn, Juhi's looking kind of nice. What are we doing here? No, I don't want to wait a week, man. Man, I can't with these cliffhangers, but that was really good. It took a completely different route than I thought we were going to go down. So many things that I thought were possibilities or might be happening were just wrong. Even me saying, like, I didn't think Kang being there was coincidence at all. I thought he was put there on purpose to watch Jinwoo. They had no idea what was going on. Even if it was coincidence. Wow, that's crazy. Lots to talk about. Let's do it. All right, so just to finish off that point that I was just talking about. So a big part of my discussion last episode, and pretty much me watching that last part of last episode, was that it felt to me me like Kang was sent there by Woo, and a lot of this was kind of manufactured so they could keep an eye on Jinwoo, because Jinwoo's name had just come across Woo's desk, you know, after the whole incident in the dungeon with Jinho, and it just made so much sense in my mind that this is what's happening. You know, they use the fact that the prisoners are there to justify Kang being there, but no, it really was all just coincidence, which is just crazy to me. But it's showing that the show is maybe doing things to kind of throw you off, and then it's like, no, it's not what it seems. Or maybe I was just looking into things too much, which is a very real possibility as well. Gotta hold myself accountable there. And even, you know, the idea that this could possibly lead to the Dumbo Dungeon, not even a thing at all, not a possibility. I didn't even consider that Kang could be like this, you know, because we've seen him with Woo. We know he's working for the Hunters Association, but no, he's just an absolute demon. And he really intrigued me early on, because you can see the first time he saw Jinwoo when he was with Woo in the hospital, he was looking really suspicious, and I thought he might just be like more of a perceptive detective kind of guy. But no, he's out of the show. He is gone. But we'll go through the episode chronologically now, like we normally do. So right off the bat, I really enjoyed that, especially Song and Joo-hee just continue to draw attention to how different Jinwoo is. Not just in his appearance, but Song even mentions his aura as well. He's so different. He's making things look easy. Joo-hee says he hasn't even gotten hurt yet. And they're also chill about it, you know, they're just homies. They're not questioning him. They're not suspicious of him. Like, how did this happen? Like, Kang is made out to be here. Like, they're just happy for him, happy that he's stronger. Joo-hee might feel a little bit relieved that she doesn't have to constantly worry about him getting hurt. And then we get to the point in this dungeon where we have to split up, you know, of course we do, and that never bodes well in these types of situations. And because of Jinwoo's perception, he's able to know which tunnel leads to the boss, and he takes Song and Joo-hee with him, maybe because those are the ones, you know, he cares the most about, so he can protect them if something bad does happen. Kang takes the prisoners down another tunnel for a very specific reason, which we'll talk about in a minute. And Kim, and I actually think this guy's name was like Mr. Kang as well or something, they go down another tunnel as well. And immediately I was thinking that they were going to die. You know, I've had a bad feeling about Kim and Song over the last 2 episodes. I'm very thankful that Song is still around and proving to be a really cool character. And the second that Kim started talking about, you know, he wanted to properly apologize to Jinwoo. Like, he does feel bad about what happened. He feels like a coward. Regardless of everything that's happened, he did leave Jinwoo down there. He was ready just to sacrifice Jinwoo to escape with his life. And that was an immediate death flag for me. The only other like immediate death flag that I thought was there was Joo-hee earlier on when they kind of set up that date after the fact of the double dungeon. But I got that wrong, and that's actually being revisited a little bit at the end of this episode. That was like the mini cliffhanger, I guess. And now we find out what Kang's actual deal is with the prisoners here. So there was a very brief shot in the previous episode of something going down, and I didn't really pay attention to it when I watched it, but I went back and edited. I noticed the scene and I was thinking, what in the world is even going on here? But now we actually find out what it was. It was Kang getting paid off to kill these 3 prisoners, because what they've done is essentially, without going into too many of the details because it's pretty brutal, is driven this man's daughter to suicide, right? So he's paying Kang to take them into a dungeon because that's something they're allowed to do. And the man does draw attention to the fact that it's pretty ridiculous that even though these people are in jail for doing something absolutely horrible to his daughter, they are allowed to come back out into the world, into these dungeons, to reduce their sentence. But he wants Kang to take them in there and pretty much kill them off. And apparently this is a thing that Kang just does regularly. I imagine that's how this guy found Kang. But that's pretty wild, and Kang has a whole story ready about it. He kills off the prisoners pretty easily, and of course bloody Kim and the other bloke walk in. As soon as they walk in, they see what Kang is doing, you just get the feeling they're gonna die as well. Death flag pretty much confirmed for Kim at that point, which is really tragic. And we get the rest of the conversation between Kang and the other guy as well. And Kang is pretty much saying, look, I just enjoy killing people. He's just a demon. We don't have to go too much into his character because he's dead, but he's just a freak. You know, he gets all these offers from people all the time, he was saying. So why would he work for the Hunters Association? Because it gives him the opportunity to go into dungeons and just kill people. He just enjoys doing that. He's a freak. But Jinwoo, Joo-hee, and Song, they hear something going on with Kim. They rush back in there. Kim's not quite dead yet, so Joo-hee tries to heal him just enough so that at least Kim can get his apology out to Jinwoo. And there was a line I want to go back and revisit. I think Jinwoo said whilst Kim was dying, like Jinwoo really didn't want Kim to die. And I believe he said something like, you know, how could I keep blaming you? So I might get some context behind that because it was really interesting to me. Jinwoo seems pretty shaken up about the fact that Kim is probably dying here. And he says, look, you have a family, right? You need to survive no matter what. How else can I keep blaming you? And the only thing I can really think about is that maybe Jinwoo does hold a bit of a grudge towards Kim for him running out when they were in the double dungeon, but I don't know, I didn't think Jinwoo was really thinking back on that situation like that too much. Maybe I'm missing something about that, I'm not sure, but it was really interesting and it just grabbed my attention. But Kim does manage to get his apology out to Jinwoo, which is really big. Even the fact that Kim decided to properly apologize to Jinwoo and look at the situation for what it was really big for his character, I feel. But a really cool way of showing like Kim's apology here with like lots of black and whites, like some really cool glares on these images and whatnot. But he does pass away. They're all pretty shook by it. Even Juhee, like Juhee was trying to keep him alive, so I imagine that probably, you know, hurt her a little bit as well. And then here comes Kang, right? He is an assassin. He's quick. He is strong. He is not to be messed with, pretty much. Like he's been doing this a lot. And he's got a dagger just like Jinwoo, which I think is kind of cool. And he uses 2 daggers later on as well. And you can kind of draw some similarities between them as Kang does as well. So I think it's kind of symbolic that they both use daggers. But of course, not knowing the actual situation with Jinwoo, Song steps in to deal with Kang. He takes up Kim's sword and he gets a strength buff from Juhee. So it's not just him fighting, it's a little bit of Kim and there's a little bit of Juhee as well, which is really cool. But Song did a lot better than I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie, there were a couple of times where I was ready for Jinwoo to jump in earlier than he actually did, and Song still had more in the tank, which is really dope. Song was talking about last episode how he's a swordsman, you know, he's a magic user, but he's a swordsman, but when he picks up the sword, he goes, right now, I'm a swordsman. And he manages to go toe to toe with Kang for a little bit, and Kang has this like after image technique, you know, at one time, it did seem like Song like sliced him in half, but then he just like disappeared. At one point, Juhee steps in to kind of heal Song a little bit, and then Kang uses that opportunity to go, okay, I need to get rid of Juhee. And before he can, you think it's Jinwoo that's gonna step in, but no, it's Song. He's gotten back in the mix again. And then even after that, when it looks like Kang is gonna go in for the final blow, it's almost like Song has baited him in, and then he uses his magic and these really cool like flame effects. It's like a big explosion. Unfortunately, I believe Kang just completely dodged it, but it was really cool, and it really caught me off guard. I didn't expect Song to be doing this much against someone who like outclasses him by an entire rank. And then we finally get Jinwoo stepping in. You knew it was going to happen, it was just a matter of when. Kang goes in once more for a final blow, and then Jinwoo steps in. And at this point, you know it's all over, right? We know where Jinwoo's at. We did pretty much get a confirmation, more or less, about where Jinwoo's at. He's not A rank yet, and I have been saying I felt like he's been A rank the way he's been like climbing up these things, but it seems like he's a pretty solid B rank, maybe like a high B rank at this point. But now everyone's starting to ask questions, you know, how is Jinwoo able to block Kang's blows? We're not just a little bit stronger, we're not just able to handle these goblins, we're on an entirely different level. And Kang is really starting to play through his mind like, okay, what's going on here? How is this guy so strong? Kang rules out the possibility that Jinwoo could be a false ranker because, you know, he's with some homies. And then he says, okay, the only possibility is that you've had a second awakening. And up to this point, I am still under the impression that in my head, Kang has been sent here for a reason. He knows that this is Jinwoo, that they've already interviewed in the hospital after the double dungeon. They thought he had a second awakening. They check his, you know, skill level, and it was still only 10. So at that point in the hospital, they knew Jinwoo didn't have a second awakening. So for Kang to be saying this again here, I was really surprised by it. But Juhee and Song are really shocked at the fact that Jinwoo could have had a second awakening. Like, oh, that would make a lot of sense. And they talk about, oh, it must have happened after the double dungeon. And that's what triggers Kang's memory to going, hang on, double dungeon, wait a minute, this is the same guy. So it's only at that point that he realizes this is Jinwoo. Of course, because he looks so different, he's got a different aura about him. You know, Kang's not been around Jinwoo as much as Juhee and Song have up to this point. And I didn't even take that into account, that Kang hasn't even realized this is Jinwoo. So Kang's trying to figure out what's going on. So now he knows he's not a false ranker, and to his knowledge, he hasn't had a second awakening, which is not the case. There's no way that Kang can know for sure what's actually going on with Jinwoo, you know, being a player, having the whole system behind him, because no one does. Even Jinwoo's not sure what's going on with him completely at this point. But Kang's asking the questions, you know, like, so how did you survive that dungeon? Like, what actually happened? And you can imagine if Kang's asking these kinds of questions, that Woo is as well. And then the fight breaks out, and it's a really cool fight. There are some really dope shots of Kang throughout this, by the way. They draw him in a very unique way to really just show off like how much of a menace he is. You have to appreciate it, but none of that compares to the way they draw Jinwoo later on. But for me, it's very Dragon Ball, this kind of fight, and that's very fitting because a couple of days ago, time of recording this, Akira Toriyama did pass away, the author of Dragon Ball, rest in peace. But the way the fight starts out, like, Jinwoo is pretty much holding back. He's not using any of his skills, he's not really showing what he can do, and at that point, they're on equal footing, right? Their speed is matched, it seems seems like their power is matched. You know, they're very fitted for fighting each other. They're both using daggers. And then Kang reveals his stealth technique, which seemed pretty tough to deal with. He was pretty much invisible. He was saying how he was pretty much undetectable during it, and no one knows he can use it because whenever he uses it, the people that see it, they die. And every time Kang goes on a little monologue about what's going on, you know, Jinwoo just has some very just chill, just cool remark to make. And he turns to Kang and goes, "Could you be a little less bloodthirsty?" And I believe as Kang even draws attention to, that's how Jinwoo is able to tell where Kang is striking from the next time he uses his stealth technique. But aside from that, the system notices that Kang is out to kill Jinwoo. So just like with the other hunters in the other dungeon, an urgent quest has popped up. Number of enemies defeated, 0 out of 1. Jinwoo needs to kill Kang now. Now it has to happen. And as Jinwoo, it's almost like he's powering up. He gets this dark aura about him and he says, "I guess I should be grateful. Now the system's given me another reason to make sure that you die. Not for killing Kim, not just because you were trying to kill Song and Juhee, but now this as well." And Jinwoo does a little like hop back and forth, and now Jinwoo's here, right? Now Dash is activated. His speed is so much quicker. He gets a nice slice onto Kang. The poison from the dagger is taking effect, and Kang's off monologuing again, and Jinwoo just turns to him and says, "Are you done talking now?" Because Kang thinks he's won. He's injured Jinwoo's leg, and Jinwoo still has a full recovery. He uses it, he stands back up. Kang's got no idea what's going on, and now we start to get to the really juicy stuff. Okay, so Jinwoo says, "That's another of my emotions gone. I don't even need to get angry to kill filth like you." Now when you look back, you can tell that Jinwoo was pretty angry, right, at the other hunters in the other situation. You know, they tried to kill him, they tried to kill Jinho, and then when Jinwoo got up, you know, he was not happy. But Kang takes that line as, "So I see you've killed as well," as in other people. And then it's pretty wild that Juhee and Song are actually hearing that, the fact that Jinwoo has possibly killed other people, other hunters, not just monsters. But Song is a really smart guy. He, instead of taking that as like Jinwoo's been off killing people, he goes, "Damn, he must have been through a lot of crazy situations and had to make a lot of grave decisions in this short amount of time that it's been since he's gotten stronger." And then Kang says, "Whoever's strongest comes out on top." That's been a big theme with Jinwoo, fighting that big snake, also fighting the other hunters. We know strength is a big deal for him. It's always just been about whoever's the strongest. Kang's stealth technique comes in again, and Jinwoo has no problem detecting his bloodlust, blocking every blow. Kang's got no idea what's going on, and then here comes the murderous intent. Some really cool shots here. It's almost like a wave of like shadows like coming out of Jinwoo, and it swallows up Kang, and then all of a sudden Jinwoo's dagger is in Kang's chest, and it's over. The shot of just like Kang standing there like in disbelief, and these massive two eyes, you know, the blue glowing eyes that we've seen on Jinwoo a lot. Like you could probably unpack some things from there, but for now it just looks really cool. Kang's final speech here, there is a lot to unpack from that, and it's kind of showing where the show is headed, right? So in essence, he says it's pointless to expect hunters to stick to normal morals. Okay, so for Kang, he just enjoys killing people, right? You know, his morals are all over the place. And Kang is comparing himself to Jinwoo, you know, like we are the same, you know, we're both murderers, we've both killed people. But for very different reasons, we have to keep that in mind. Kang's doing it out of pure enjoyment because he's a freak, he's a demon. Jinwoo's doing it because he's been put into situations where he kind of needs to, not just from the system, but because of the people around him as well, are trying to protect Jinho, and now are trying to protect Juhee and Song. But Kang's morals here are all just about, you know, whoever's the strongest, natural selection and whatnot. He said, look, I was the weakest, this is natural selection, that's why I die here, because I lost. And in his dying moments, he's trying to figure out what Jinwoo is, you know? Like, he has assassination skills, he's got healing, he's got debuffs, like, what else does he have? To which Jinwoo says, look, I don't know myself, I'm still trying to figure that out. But pretty much, let's just say, I'm a hunter that gets stronger with every battle. Really cool shot as it pans down Jinwoo's shadow, with Kang saying, I'd say your shadow stretches into some really nasty places, and you'll probably get as strong as those places are dark. If you gaze for too long into an abyss, the abyss gazes also into you, and here come the big glowing blue eyes again. Quest complete. Jinwoo gets something that I am assuming is going to let him use the stealth skill that Kang was using, which is sick. And then the hood comes up and Jinwoo says, Kang is right, I'm so much stronger, but I feel like the stronger I get, the more something inside of me is falling apart. Like his humanity. He said, there's another one of my emotions gone earlier. I don't have to get angry to kill bad people like Kang. It's so interesting. Like the system wants him to get stronger, and it's making him do a lot of things that probably don't align with what his morals were before the double dungeon. Is it like twisting him to make him become a certain person? Does the system need him to be a certain way for whatever it's trying to do? We know it needs him strong. Maybe it wants him to be the absolute strongest, but what is the goal here? Has the system come from wherever the dungeons have come from, you know? Maybe it's like, and this could be pretty wild, but maybe it's trying to use Jinwoo. Like, let's say there is some overarching force that's like in control of these dungeons, right? Maybe this has sent the system, maybe it's the system itself, and it's using Jinwoo to try and, you know, push the dungeons further, or like make it so they can take over or something. It's really interesting to think about. But for now, all we can really look at is Jinwoo's character. Like the hood coming up, you know, is very symbolic, right? He's going down a different path, you know, a very dark path, like Kang was alluding to as well. And perhaps it's going to be lonely. Perhaps he's just going to do it as solo as he possibly can. Maybe he's going down a path that no one else can go down but him, by himself. Song and Joo-hee are very grateful for Jinwoo. Again, they're not really questioning what's going on with him. They're not suspicious. They're grateful to him. You know, they're real homies. They're people I think Jinwoo needs to keep around him as he goes down this potentially dark path. And Jinwoo says, you guys get out of here. I'm going to go and beat the boss now. And we don't even see it. I imagine it was easy for him. Right, and now we're back out of the dungeon, right? And Woo is here to see the three survivors, being Jinwoo, Joo-hee, and Song. And it's like, okay, so how do we explain the situation now? And as I expected, as it was probably pretty obvious, Song does claim that he was the one, along with Joo-hee's help, Joo-hee being a B-rank healer, that they were able to defeat Kang, right? And Woo had no idea that Kang was like this. I don't think anyone did at this point, but that's all done. Like, he's out of the show, but I think he's left a bit of a legacy, maybe in terms of what's going to happen with Jinwoo's character. But you can tell Woo is very smart, right? He's very perceptive. I'm sure he's very suspicious of Jinwoo at this point. And he immediately recognized Jinwoo from the hospital, right? And he knows that Jinwoo was the same guy that was in the other dungeon with Jinho as well. So Woo is going to be the guy. He is going to be, you know, the L in this Death Note situation, right? But Woo accepts the story that they give them. It seems like he's pretty suspicious of it. And Jinwoo is able to tell now that his perception is higher that Woo is A rank and that he wouldn't stand a chance against him. And that's where we get our confirmation of where Jinwoo's at, pretty much, like his strength. And it kind of also shows you like how much of a gap there are in ranks, especially I guess once you get to the higher ranks. So it seems like there is a big gap between B and A rank, and I imagine there's an even bigger gap between S rank. So it kind of felt like we were getting strong really quickly, but it might start to slow down a bit now as we move towards, you know, the stronger ranks. And this last scene, like it really gets to me, you know, because they've obviously set up like something there between Joo-hee and Jinwoo from right at the very start of the show. Now it's an essence stone, I believe is what it was, right? So Jinwoo got it from like the one goblin I think he managed to defeat in the very first dungeon they were in. And Joo-hee pretty much said, look, we've both got to go out after this, you know, we're going to go out and eat or something like that. And as Joo-hee left the circle that Jinwoo was pretty much sacrificing himself for, that's when he gave Joo-hee the essence stone and said, look, take this, go out to eat in memory of me. And I was wondering when this was going to come back up because it's been so long since they've seen each other. Joo-hee went to visit Jinwoo in the hospital, but eventually decided to go. Like, she's been having a really hard time. Now they've been reunited. They've had a successful dungeon experience together. I guess it was probably pretty crazy as well. But now here we are. And here's Jinwoo, a completely different guy than what he was. He's got his hood up. He's going down this path. But Joo-hee is still standing here seeing the same Jinwoo that she probably saw at the start of the series. But I'm really curious as to what happens with this. You know, are they maybe are they gonna go on this date? Like, what's gonna happen? We already saw that Jinwoo initially declining Jinho's offer being kind of symbolic of, you know, Jinwoo's gonna go down, you know, this solo path. But he eventually accepted Jinho's offer because it was in his best interest to, you know, to gain levels, to get stronger. So he did it for himself. Now that he's saying like he's losing parts of himself the stronger he gets, like how is he even going to see this situation? It's just, it is what it is. You can tell like I really like, you know, this kind of stuff, like when they pair two characters up like this and they've set things up with them already. So I'm just really curious to see what happens. But that's going to do it for this one. I think this might come out as a pretty long discussion. I have got a significant amount of comments on other videos about people that really enjoy these long form discussions, but I do find is I do a lot of recapping, which really helps me because it helps me make sure I miss as little details as possible and helps me stay familiar with like the themes and the characters and what's going on with the plot, because I am very story driven. Like as someone who consumes content, I want a good narrative, I want good plot twists. Even when I play video games, like I want a good story that pulls me in. So going back and recapping and trying to delve into things when I can, maybe develop some theories, go over like what themes and symbolism is coming out, that really helps me stay in touch with that, and it's what comes naturally for me as well. But I would really appreciate feedback on it as well. I honestly don't watch a lot of discussions or like theory parts of other people's like reaction videos. I'm just here for the reactions and like what they say in the moment, which I try and do as well. I do give a lot of commentary about what's going on, what's going through my head, because when we do get to the discussion portion, I'm really just like going over what I'm seeing like as we recap the whole episode. So if you feel like it's a bit too much, like I ramble on too much, or it's just a recap, like there's too much that I'm talking about that you're not interested, please leave a comment down below and maybe I could do something about that, because I do feel it in myself sometimes that I'm really just recapping what we've already seen, you know, so maybe I don't need to be talking about that, but it does help me get into a lot of points that I do talk about. So I would appreciate feedback on all of that, is what I'm pretty much trying to say with all that. But that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. It would really help me out and I'd really appreciate it. And as always, please continue to leave comments and feedback down below. You know I always appreciate it. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Solo Leveling.